At this time, I'll entertain a motion to come out of closed session back into open session.
So move.
All right, have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. I'll start the voting with Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Collins,
Yes.
Mr. Hill,
Yes.
Mr. McCraw,
Yes.
Mr. Dixon,
Yes.
and I vote yes. At this time, I'd ask for each of you to certify that, excuse me, whereas the Carroll County Board of Supervisors conveyed a closed session this date pursuant to the affirmative recorded vote on the motion to close the meeting in accordance to the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, whereas Section 2.2-3711, and we went in closed session under A3, A5, A6, A7 of the Code of Virginia requires a certification by the Board of Supervisors that such closed session was conducted in conformity with Virginia law. Now therefore it be resolved that the Carroll County Board of Supervisors hereby certifies that to the best of each member's knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempt from open meeting requirements under the Virginia Freedom of Information Act were heard, discussed, or considered in the closed session to which this certification applies, and only such business matters as were identified in the motion in which the closed session was conveyed were heard, discussed, or considered in the meeting to which this certification applies. I'll start the certification with Mr. Early,
I so certify.
Mr. Collins,
I so certify.
Mr. Hill,
I so certify.
Mr. McCraw,
I so certify.
Mr. Dixon,
I so certify.
and I so certify. At this time, I'd ask Mr. Collins if he'd lead us in the invocation and pledge.
Father, thank you for this opportunity to be in this place to do the business of the county. We pray that you'd guide us and direct us and give us your leadership. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time on the agenda, we would like to recognize the Carroll County wrestling team tonight, and I think Bronson Bowman and the team are here with us. And as they're coming up, I would ask if Mr. McCraw would help me with awarding them a certificate. So which one of y'all is the spokesman of this here group? Bronson? All right, if you would, I'd get you to maybe speak on behalf of what your team accomplished here this year.
We have a few members of the team here tonight. Some of them were not able to attend, but we really made progress as a whole as a team. Kind of felt like we had to start new with some things and kind of pick up where we left off with some others, with some other coaches had already taught some experience stuff. They were heading in a good direction. But we were able to send, and not that it's all about sending kids to region and state tournaments, but we were able to send 4 kids to state tournament this year where we actually ended up winning some matches. It's been a few years since we went and actually been successful winning some matches, so that was a huge accomplishment. And then also, wrestling is an acquired taste sport, and the men and women were there every single day putting in hard work. We really just want to attest to their character and personalities throughout life also. So, thank them for that hard work.
And I will read the certificate to the audience. This is a certificate of recognition proudly presented to each of the athletes for your hard work and dedication to the Carroll County wrestling team in 2023. And Mr. McCraw, I think he wrestled in high school and has a true and dear meaning to it in his heart. And we wanted to thank y'all for coming, and appreciate taking the invite to come and be recognized. So.
Thank you for recognizing.
Absolutely. Logan Bottomley, you here? Okay. Michael Cruz? Nope. Amelia Dalton? Congratulations. Nathaniel Dalton? Caleb? I won't even start that last one. Tony? I'm not even going to start that, Dave, either. Okay. Lewis Marshall? Andrew Myers, and Austin Nestor,
He ain't here either.
Silas Warren, and Christina Stillwell. Christian. My apologies, young man. Let's give them all a good round of applause. Thank y'all. Awesome. That's good to see. You know, I think we're going to try to continue to reach out to the swim team, and fortunately, we got a state championship basketball team that hopefully we can get in here next month, and I think we got some hosts and some FFA kids, so it's great to see our youth doing good things in Carroll County. So, that being said, we'll move on to the agenda to the regional library update.
Thank you so much. Appreciate y'all having me here tonight. It's a pleasure to be here. My name's Trish Four, and I am the Regional Library Director of the Galax Carroll Regional Library, and I wanted to come and give a presentation on our activities from fiscal year 2022. I want to invite each of you to like us on our social media platforms. That's our Facebook page at Galax Carroll Regional Library, our Instagram page at Galax Carroll Regional Library, and be sure to see our website at galaxcarroll.lib.va.us. In fiscal year 2022, we had 121 programs offered, and that numbered 2,189 in-person attendees. And this is an increase from fiscal year 2021. We're also very proud and happy to offer to citizens of Carroll County 118,860 physical and e-items to which citizens, our patrons, have access to. You know, sometimes it takes a little while to reach some goals that you set, and it took us a little while to reach a couple of these goals, but now we're able to offer Ancestry Library Edition for in-library use if patrons or citizens are interested in doing family research, finding those original source documents. They can now come to the library and do that. We also are now offering free notary services at the libraries. I think at the Carroll Library, it's a couple of days a week. We're working on getting someone to be a notary there full time. Also, we're accepting, we're now a certified passport acceptance facility. And in the last year, we have accepted about 50 passport applications and have sent those off to the State Department for certification. So we're happy to offer that new service to Carroll County residents. I won't read through all of these numbers, but I want to highlight that in the orange line is fiscal year 2021, and the blue line is fiscal year 2022. And, you know, COVID was hard on everyone. Those COVID years, you know, were rough, but we're almost back to pre-COVID levels for our library visits. You know, it's increased 20,306 visits. You know, where people are borrowing more items, those routines are coming back, and people are visiting the library for services. Now, our borrower count, it did go down in the last year, and that's because the Library of Virginia requires all libraries who receive state funding to do a borrower purge, and that's just to help keep our database cleaned up and help us have a realistic idea of how many borrowers are using the library. In fiscal year 2022, we answered a lot of questions, over 8,000. And we keep track of those. We do some sampling at different weeks during the year to come up with an overall average. We had 434 participants in the summer reading program, and we offer programs and activities from preschoolers all the way up through adults. We had 321 meeting room uses. We're still trying to bridge the digital divide in Carroll County. We have a lot of computer users. And last year we had 5,390 public internet computer uses. Our Facebook followers and Instagram followers are growing. We had over 33,000 website visits in fiscal year 2022. And this was very impressive to me. We recently worked with the Library of Virginia, who provides Wi-Fi to the library, and that counts our wireless user sessions, the number of Wi-Fi uses, and that's inside the library and out in the parking lot, and that numbered over 20,000. So people do have a need for Wi-Fi at the library. We're happy to offer that, and we're helping Carroll Countyans meet their goals. I would like to recognize there are 2 library board members here tonight, Darrell Arano and Mimi Leonard. Thankful that they're here, but we are ready to do things for Carroll County citizens. You know, library staff meet every day to meet folks where they are. We just want to work daily to enrich the lives of the citizens of Carroll County. So if there's any questions you have about the library or any suggestions, I'd be glad to listen to those. If there are ways that the library can help the county meet goals and needs, feel free to let me know. All right.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for your time.
Absolutely, thank you. Next on the agenda is the Chestnut Creek School of Arts.
Good evening. I appreciate the opportunity to meet with all of you. My name is Chris, and I am the Executive Director of Chestnut Creek. It'll be 15 years St. Patrick's Day that we've been in existence. Pretty amazing there. I have a packet of information here for you. If you're not familiar with the school, I personally invite you to come and become familiar with all that we offer. We were formed as a function of the city of Galax as a regional school to stimulate the economy by showcasing the talent. So that's Appalachian craft as well as contemporary arts. And I have found in 15 years that it is as much or more about community development as it is economic. So I've got some numbers for you today, but we have 3 buildings downtown Galax. We're in what was the first national bank, first bank in Galax. It'll be 100 years old this year. And we have a pottery studio and a woodworking shop. Original funding provided not only the equipment so that people can come and take a class, but also a model where they can come back, use that equipment for entrepreneurial growth. And we have a hall of frames of people who have started businesses as a direct result of the school. So we do offer classes, events, and exhibits year-round for all ages and skill level. And that includes, and doesn't limit to drawing, painting, sewing, music, pottery, wood, glass, fibers, and then there's always more. But we do a regular exhibit. One of the cards I have is we have a notable exhibit in place now through June. We're having a reception with that artist if you're interested in that kind of work. We also, about 4 years ago, partnered with the Twin County Community Foundation, and they provide funding for a wellness program. So these are hour-and-a-half-long classes that are designed for all ages and skill level, really reaching factions within our community that we hadn't touched before. So these are homeschoolers, these are adults with disabilities, these are veterans. And in being together and being creative, it is a wellness, it is a healing process. And they're able to give back to the community and also give back to themselves by being together and being creative. In addition to classes, we also have several community service projects that are free and open for people to participate in. The most notable is nationally known as Empty Bowls, where you make a bowl, a pottery bowl, and there's fundraisers, and the money raised in the sale of those bowls then helps line food bank shelves. So it overcomes all obstacles to the creative process. And people come, they have fun, they realize that they can make something, they're able to give back to the community. They're also simultaneously proud of themselves in what they've done. So we've mirrored the success of that program with Knots and Needles, which is a community service project in making lap blankets for homeless, hospice, and newborns. They've been making totes for some foster kids. And the wood shop is looking to emulate the success of that. Right now, we're talking about gypsy flowers, where you learn how to whittle, but you get to keep one, and then the ones that are made and left can be delivered to folks in the nursing homes. So, a couple things that I've included in your packet include the Art for Life listing, which is what looks like this piece. These are the hour-and-a-half-long classes. These rotate throughout our studios, and every studio has classes that start from this sort of introductory phase into much more in-depth classes. 6 weeks long for an hour at a time, or it is a 3 or 4 hour class. We are a regional school. Several of our not only consignment artists, but also our teachers are from Carroll and within the region. And this Sunday, we're offering a stage performance in our lobby. This is one of our former board members, and this is a performance of Ivy Rowe, which is based on Lee Smith's Fair and Tender Ladies. That's at 2 o'clock in the main building, so that if you hadn't been to the school, that would be a nice introduction to you of the facility and what we offer. The Virginia Commission for the Arts offers a Creative Communities grant, which leverages your support dollar for dollar. And a couple of the questions that were asked within this grant of what is our impact? And so I do have some figures for you. Numbers of visitors in last year alone were over 1,276 to the main building. We had over 644 students taking classes. We have a gift shop in addition to our classes, and those are both the work of our teachers as well as a community of artists who are making things that we jury and mentor them. If we don't accept them into the gift shop, we tell them why, we give them suggestions, and we found that they've taken those suggestions and now they're selling their wares. On that subject, over $32,647 was made in consignment sales. Of that figure, $22,050 were then put into the hands of the artists, which is feeding immediately back into the community. We paid over $26,000 in salary, and that includes our instructors as well as our jam program. We do have an after-school junior Appalachian musicians program, which is a regional effort teaching ages 8 to 12 fiddle, banjo, mandolin, or guitar with local musicians. Many of those programs sadly stopped as a result of COVID. We survived with 4 kids, and we're maxed out now at 30. So we're really very proud of keeping that passion and that education and lineage of talent and strength alive. We track everything. Every time someone takes a class, we ask for feedback. We also ask when they're in town. If that class meets over a lunch, they're given coupons for a free soda or to visit the shops. We ask them what they've spent as a result of them being in class, again, as an economic impact. And we have reported over $8,000 spent by students while in class. I am more than happy to answer any questions that you may have, but very proud of what we've done. think it's a huge impact for the economy and the community. And Carroll is as intrinsic to that as anyone can be. So thank you for the opportunity to present tonight.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, and I have a board member with me, Brenda Merrick.
Hello.
Next is citizen time. At this time, Jill Bertram.
I want to thank you all. You have a great county here, and we've had the pleasure of working with probation officers up here and the sheriff's department. They're wonderful to work with. Last Wednesday, my business partner, Jerome Bell, who's executive director of Push Ministries, and I were invited to go to the prison in Dublin. And we were talked to the superintendent and 5 other officers. We've been asked to be the conduit. We've been asked to be the band director for the reentry program for Carroll, Galax, and Grayson, and 5 other counties. And what that will entail is we're going to start out once a month where they pre-screen 15 to 20 prisoners before they get out. And I have the program here to leave for you. But we make sure that we take care of all their needs. Do they need to get into a drug rehab program? Do they need housing? Do they need medical attention? Do they need IDs? Whatever they need to make themselves a successful citizen and not fail. Because what's happening right now is there are no official reentry programs in the area. And they're bringing the van down and dropping them off in Walmart at 2 o'clock in the morning, which we're setting them up to fail. And I talked to Sheriff Kemp. He said similar things are happening here in Carroll County. And what we're trying to do is prevent that. Because if these guys have served their term, they deserve to have a chance. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to start. In fact, we already started today with one gentleman that they sent. We've been doing reentry unofficially for the last 10 years. So we have a history, we have the connections, we have partnerships with Mount Rogers, DSS, all the probation officers, anybody we really need to be able to get moving. The other challenge that that they shared with us is they don't have enough van drivers to get people from the jail to here. They asked us if we would coordinate something that we could help with our volunteers to get these prisoners back to their hometowns, Galax, Carroll, and Grayson. And with that, we don't get paid for what we do. You know, this is a heart thing. But one of the things we really need help with is gas money. And so I've gotten a letter, I'll give it to Crystal, and a letter asking for $1,000 to help with gas money and motels, because if they're coming out, most of these guys are getting out between 11 o'clock at night and 3 o'clock in the morning. We got to put them up in a motel till we can start working with them the next day. And I thank you so much. I'm open to any questions. I will make sure we leave business cards and a copy of what we're getting ready to do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jerome Bell? Did you sign up on the citizens time? No, I don't remember doing it. Juan Washington? We all together. Okay, all right. Lowell Bowman?
Hello, Chairman, members of the board. I didn't have any prepared remarks, but I did want to address one thing tonight, with you all. So I'm a local business owner and property owner. We own commercial property and residential property here in Carroll County. And I'm also a candidate for the House of Delegates in the Montgomery County and Roanoke County area of Virginia. One of the things I wanted to talk to the board tonight, get you all kind of thinking about, and I have addressed it before a couple years ago, is the need in the subdivision ordinance for commercial subdivision of property, and the need of road frontage. Really, there's only a residential option in the subdivision ordinance in Carroll County, and there's not really a commercial option in Carroll County, and that requires road frontage to be for every single lot that is subdivided in the county. And in commercial developments, it's really not needed, because you have cross-access easements, and you have other opportunities. You know, you're inside of parking lots, you have infill lots and out parcels, things like that. So don't get me wrong, I'm definitely not up here advocating for zoning. I love my freedom and the freedom to do with my property as I wish. But I would like to encourage the board to maybe look at some kind of vehicle, some kind of avenue, so that we could develop commercial property here in the county just a little bit easier. So it's not an immediate need right now, but just kind of looking in the future, a year or two out. So again, I think most of you all have my contact information. I'd be happy to address any questions that you have. And I appreciate your time, appreciate your all's service to the county. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Next on the agenda is approval of minutes. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I so move.
All right, have a motion. Do I have a second? All right, are there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll start the vote. Mr. Early?
Yes.
Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Mr. Hill?
Yes.
Mr. McCraw?
Yes.
Mr. Dixon?
Yes.
And I vote yes. The next, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent calendar.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion we approve the consent calendar.
All right, have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, are there any discussion? All right, hearing none, I'll start the vote with Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Collins,
Yes.
Mr. Hill,
Yes.
Mr. McCraw,
Yes.
Mr. Dixon,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Next, I'd entertain a motion to approve the invoices, A, B, C, D, and E as presented, or we can break them out, whichever way the board so desires.
I'll make a motion to approve all invoices.
All right, I have a motion to approve invoices A, B, C, D, and E as presented, or do I have a second?
Second.
All right, are there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll start the vote. Mr. Dixon,
Yes.
Mr. McCraw,
Yes.
Mr. Hill,
Yes.
Mr. Collins,
Yes.
Mr. Early,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Under new business, fourth quarter appropriations, I'll entertain a motion to approve fourth quarter appropriations.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion we approve the fourth quarter appropriations as presented.
All right, have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, are there any discussion? All right, hearing none, I'll start the voting with Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Dixon,
Yes.
Mr. McCraw,
Yes.
Mr. Hill,
Yes.
Mr. Collins,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Next, under B, the MS proclamation. Entertain a motion to approve that proclamation.
I make that motion?
All right, have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, are there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll start the vote with Mr. Collins,
Yes.
Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Hill,
Yes.
Mr. McCraw,
Yes.
Mr. Dixon,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Next on the agenda is the emergency management proclamation. I will take the time to read that proclamation. Whereas the emergency management team of Carroll County, the Commonwealth of Virginia, worked tirelessly behind the scenes to create a safer, stronger, and more resilient environment in the midst of natural disaster, pandemics, civil unrest, terrorism, and other man-made and natural threats and hazards. And whereas every emergency begins and ends locally, and whereas emergency managers are considered vital public service to and between essential services that assist Carroll County to prepare for, respond to, and recover from emergencies. And whereas emergency managers develop emergency plans and procedures organize training, including first responders and community partners, manage, lead, and provide skills and resources to minimize the impact of disasters, work with state and federal agencies to find the most effective methods of disaster recovery, to increase safety and security, as well as build business continuity, and whereas the role of emergency service managers in creating a safer, more resilient community is more important than ever, now therefore be the Carroll County Board of Supervisors do hereby proclaim March 19th through the 23rd, 2023 as Emergency Management Professionals Week. Carroll County encourages all citizens to honor the Carroll Emergency Management Team and to recognize their service behind the scenes and commitment to the health and safety and welfare of all who live and visit in Carroll County. I'll entertain a motion to approve that proclamation and naming March 19th through the 23rd Emergency Management Professionals Week.
I so move.
All right, have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Are there any discussion? All right, hearing none, I'll start the vote with Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. McCraw,
Yes.
Mr. Hill,
Yes.
Mr. Collins.
Yes.
Mr. Dixon,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Next on the agenda under new business is rural rustic resolution. The-
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
there was somebody here from the Ministerial Association was gonna speak on something, and it got by me, but they had to leave, but she left me with something. Is it all right if I read that before we move on, or?
Yes, we can, we can make,
All right, Carroll County Ministerial Association would like to create an annual Mava Day to be held in the garden in honor of Mava Bass next to the Labyrinth near the Carroll Wellness Center in Hillsville. This will be a time the community gathers for a program, spruce up her garden, the pavilion, and the surrounding grounds. They propose to do it the first Saturday of every May. Ask the community for donations to help spruce up the garden, different things. Have an event there from 9 a.m. until around noontime with lunch. And they're asking if the Carroll County Board of Supervisors would declare an annual Mava Day.
you making that into a motion?
I would make that into a motion, yes.
All right, what day would that be?
They are looking at May the 6th this year.
All right, I have a motion to make May 6th Mava Day this year. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. Are there any discussion?
Would
Do
it, oh, sorry. Would it occur every year or just this year?
They're planning to do it every year on the first Saturday.
First Saturday.
So the board could just change the date versus moving
Just making
forward?
an annual day.
Yeah.
Day,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. All right, are there any further discussion? All right, hearing none, I'll start the voting with Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Collins,
Yes.
Mr. Hill,
Yes.
Mr. McCraw,
Yes.
Mr. Dixon.
Yes.
And I vote yes. The next on the agenda is the rural rustic resolution. I think we should break these down to each. Is that correct, Mr. Durbin?
I would take them one by one.
They need to be separately, so. I'll entertain a motion to approve the Dust Trail Road.
So moved.
All right, have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, are there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll start the voting with Mr. Collins,
Yes.
Mr. Hill,
Yes.
Mr. Dixon,
Yes.
Mr. McCraw,
Yes.
Mr. Early,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Next on the resolution is the Glade Creek Road.
Make
All
a
right.
motion to approve the Glade Creek Road.
All right, have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Are there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll start the vote with Mr. McCraw,
Yes.
Mr. Hill,
Yes.
Mr. Collins,
Yes.
Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Dixon,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Next, the resolution for the Groundhog Mountain Road.
I'll make a resolution to approve the Groundhog Mountain Road.
All right, have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. Are there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll start the vote with Mr. Dixon,
Yes.
Mr. McCraw,
Yes.
Mr. Collins,
Yes.
Mr. Hill,
Yes.
Mr. Early,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Next, rural rustic resolution for Little Valley Road.
I make a motion, we accept the resolution for Little Valley Road.
All right, have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. Are there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll start the vote with Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Hill,
Yes.
Mr. Collins,
Yes.
Mr. McCraw,
Yes.
Mr. Dixon,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Next, I entertain a motion for the resolution of River Hill Road.
I so move.
All right. Have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. Are there any discussion? All right, I'll start the vote with Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Collins.
Yes.
Mr. Hill.
Yes.
Mr. McCraw.
Yes.
Mr. Dixon.
Yes.
I vote yes. Next on the agenda is the revised budget calendar. Entertain a motion to approve the revised budget calendar as presented.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion, we approve the revised budget calendar as presented.
All right, have a second?
Second.
All right. Are there any discussion? All right, hearing none, I'll start the vote. Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Collins.
Yes.
Mr. Hill,
Yes.
Mr. McCraw,
Yes.
Mr. Dixon,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Next, on the agenda is the CIP plan. Entertain a motion to approve the CIP plan as presented.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
All right, have a motion to have a second.
Second.
Are there any discussion? All right, hearing none, I'll start the vote. Mr. Collins,
Yes.
Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. McCraw,
Yes.
Mr. Hill,
Yes.
Mr. Dixon,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Next, to approve the ARPA plan, ARPA plan. Have a motion to approve that.
I so move.
All right, have a motion to have a second.
Second.
Are there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll start the vote. Mr. McCraw,
Yes.
Mr. Hill,
Yes.
Mr. Collins,
Yes.
Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Dixon,
Yes.
and I vote yes. And next on the agenda, in new business H, vacation of plot, and I'd ask Mr. Newman if he would come and speak to the board on behalf of that plot.
Good evening.
Good evening.
This is the last section that's undeveloped for Snow Ridge development. Joey, we probably started when you were still on the planning commission, because we started in 2007 with this one. In front of you, you have what I've tried to highlight. The lot in red has been sold and has a house on it. The remainder that is highlighted in yellow has not been developed, the road has not been developed. Mr. Bowman has done the DEQ stormwater plan to vacate stormwater for this section. So all of that's taken care of. This second page, you'll see there's a circle highlighted. Instead of doing a turnaround, because the road right away will go down to that lot that's been sold, but it's steep. And if you go down there and try to turn around, you're going to need a tractor to drag you back out. So they're going to fix a turnaround up on top of the mountain with signage advising people not to go beyond that point. And that's the reason that that's highlighted and shown there. The only other two lots of this entire development that has transferred ownership are way over at the other end of the development, that the developers had to trade the adjoining landowners to get an easement through their land so that they could get out to a spot where they could get the commercial entrance from VDOT. And that's all that's been done in this development since 2007.
What's your recommendation for the board?
I'd love to see it gone.
None of the proposed roads have been built?
None of those roads in there, inside that yellow, they're grown up in bushes and all, there's no roads in there.
Where is this? Can you give me?
It's out on the south side of the parkway. You familiar with where Snow Mountain Lane is off of the parkway?
That's right. It's out on the edge of the mountain.
All right, you know where Ward's Gap?
Yeah.
It's off of Lightning Ridge.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Just back this side, there's a road that cuts off, goes over the hill, and then turns and comes back parallel with Lightning Ridge. It comes back into this, and it spreads from that point out to where Snow Mountain Lane cuts off of, what is that, Dusty Ridge, I think? You made a decision?
Oh, I mean, if the board's inclined to take action to approve this, I think they can. Virginia Code Section 15.2, 2272, subsection 1, in cases where any lot has been sold, the plat or part thereof may be vacated according to either of the following methods. Subsection 1, by instrument in writing agreeing to the vacation signed by all the owners of the lots shown on the plat, and also signed on behalf of the governing body of the locality in which the land is shown on the plat thereof or part thereof to be vacated, showing the approval of the governing body. So we don't have to have a public hearing on this. We do, if you want to move forward, I would suggest the motion be to authorize the vacation, to approve the vacation and authorize the signature by the chairman or the county administrator of an instrument agreeing to the vacation, and that's conditioned upon first receiving the signatures from the owners requesting the vacation.
Do we need the signatures of the owners of the two lots on the other end where the easement issue is located?
So are those sold lots depicted on this proposed,
No,
on the proposed vacation that's in the agenda packet?
no.
So that's on a different plat sheet
Yeah.
of the overall subdivision?
It's like on, I don't know, maybe sheet 2.
Okay. I don't think that's necessary if they're just vacating this one section of the plat, because it does provide for,
That was my thought, but I wanted to make sure.
yeah, a portion of the subdivision can be vacated.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. And if you'll notice on this, we have the person who owns what I have highlighted in red, we have a signature line on here for him. He's ready to sign.
So once those are
He don't want
signed,
any neighbors.
once those are signed and submitted to you, then I would just prepare a very simple instrument to be recorded along with that,
Okay.
to be signed off on by the county. And we did this maybe last spring, I want to say.
We did.
A very similar situation.
Yep.
And hopefully next month I'll have another one that'll be your neighbors, Jody.
Oh, okay. Who was doing this development?
Pat and Mitch Snow.
Okay.
So is that, what's the pleasure of the board to take action on tonight?
I make a motion, we vacate this plat per Mr. Durbin's directions.
Okay. Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Are there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll start the vote. Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Collins,
Yes.
Mr. Hill,
Yes.
Mr. McCraw,
Yes.
Mr. Dixon,
Yes.
and I vote yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Newman.
Thank
Next is, old business, committee appointments. Is there any committee appointments that the, board would like to take action on tonight? I'd make a motion that we put Brook Low as, or Love as tourism on the Blue Ridge Parkway.
Blue Ridge.
Yeah.
Blue Ridge, Crooked Road, and Ninth District.
Yeah, do we need to break them out into single ones, Mr. Durbin? They are all three different boards, aren't they, Crystal? Yeah, let's just do them one by
Clarity.
one.
Yeah.
Let's just do them one. Good. You rescind your motion,
I do.
all right. I'll entertain a motion to put Brook Love on the Blue Ridge Parkway Board.
So moved.
All right, have a second?
Second.
Are there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll start the vote. Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Collins,
Yes.
Mr. Hill,
Yes.
Mr. McCraw,
Yes.
Mr. Dixon,
Yes.
and I vote yes. The Crooked Road,
I make a motion to put Brook Love on the Crooked Road.
all right. I have a second?
Second.
All right, are there any discussion? I start to vote. Mr. McCraw,
Yes.
Mr. Hill,
Yes.
Mr. Collins,
Yes.
Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Dixon,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Entertain a motion to put Ms. Love on the 9th District Finance Board.
Make that motion.
All right, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Are there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll start to vote. Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Mr. McCraw?
Yes.
Mr. Hill?
Yes.
Mr. Early?
Yes.
Mr. Dixon?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Are there any other boards that the committee appointments that the board wants to take action on tonight?
It's the recreation, that one's vacant at the moment, right?
Yeah, but we don't have an applicant for the district that it's open.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay, I got you.
we were going to meet with the Recreation Commission about their bylaws last Monday, and they changed it because of the girls playing in the playoffs. So we will meet with them and see if we can get that changed. I feel the board needs to have a discussion on that airport appointment that we talked about this morning. Is that something that we want to wait till it comes up and then do a 4-year, or do we want to do it?
I don't believe there's a limit on the airport appointments. At the discretion of the appointing authority.
Okay.
So, if the board decides they want somebody else, they do that.
Okay.
So the discussion about whether or not the
We have one appointment that's vacant on the rec commission.
yeah, I know, and we were looking into whether or not that
We
had to be from the
could have-
district.
Yeah, and we could have it more at large appointments rather than
Okay,
district.
so that's still in the works.
It is, yes.
Okay.
We were gonna meet last Monday, and where the girls were playing the playoffs, they canceled the meeting,
Okay.
are there any other appointments that the board want to take action on tonight? All right, then, we'll move to board member comments. I'll start with Mr. Dixon.
I just want to thank staff and Crystal and Justin and Mike and everyone for their hard work and all the employees. Of course, Sheriff's Office, thank y'all for being here, representing. EMS, Fire and Rescue, all our volunteers. Appreciate everyone that come out, Lowell and Todd, and all the citizens that spoke tonight. And we're almost done with the budgets. One more meeting on it, and I do appreciate Justin and Mike and Jody's working on the budget. And I guess that's all I have.
All right, Mr. McCraw?
I'd like to just reiterate the fact of the Budget Committee and the Budget Finance team and Mike for everything that they're doing. And they've really helped us get through some tough times, and things are on the upswing on that end. And I appreciate everybody that's here tonight. And, you know, we had the kids in here from wrestling a while ago, and I made a mention a while ago about this. As I was looking through the Carroll County High School Facebook page, I was amazed at what I seen. And I just like to share some of this with you all. The wrestling team, of course, sent 3 to the state, and this was the first year they ever had a girls' state championship in the state of Virginia. And we had a girl that went and participated in that. I think she wrestled a couple of matches. But the swimming team, they had like 10 top 20 finishes. The chorus has got an all-state selection. Building trades won a first in their skills competition. The junior ROTC racked up a whole bunch of stuff against 17 other schools. And, you know, it's just amazing to see some of this stuff they're doing. The band had 6 students that went on to all region. FBLA, which is a business-based club, they sent, I think, 23 kids going to the state competition. And it's public speaking, agribusiness, advertising, business law. The MAC team at the high school, the Carroll dance team, is in a competition, and they brought back all kinds of accolades. And the HOSA club is sent 3 students had 3 students placed in the state competition, and 2 of them are going to advance to the international competition. You know, this is our future. This is the future of our county. It's the future of our communities, and And these kids, we need to give them the recognition and the accolades that they deserve for doing this work. I don't think a lot of them get the attention that they need, or a slap on the back that says that. And FBLA and the HOSA and the building trades, those are things that are very important to us moving forward. And anybody that's in the business field out there knows that these are the kids that are looking to move forward in their life, and they're building good life skills. So I just think anytime we get a chance to recognize them, we need to. And I thank everybody else for being here tonight, and that's it, Tracy.
All right. Mr. Hill?
That was a long one. That was more than we thought we did.
Oh, yeah.
Get in there, we have a lot of kids that do well in class. I'm just happy with our school system. And I want to ditto everything else you said. Thanks to everybody that come met with us tonight. Also, the budget committee, the team, county folks, they did a great job on the budget. I'm happy with that. And that's all I've got.
Mr. Collins?
Just to echo what Mr. McCraw, Mr. Hill said, I think we need to celebrate all our youth. And, one of the things that I always hear is that our youth have nothing to do. Well, they've got lots to do in Carroll County. And I think our schools, for the hard work that they're doing, the great job they're doing with our athletes, a whole host of other things, FFA, FBLA, chorus, there's a ton of them. I just want us to be able to recognize all the students equally.
Absolutely. Mr. Early?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to start out by just reassuring folks here in the county that we're really trying to look after their best interests when it comes to emergency services. We're currently in the process of designing a new EMS building. We have made a site selection for that building. The EMS site selection was not solely based on price. While price was considered, the most important factors in our selection process were location and safety. While other properties were considered at a lesser price, none were immediately available with easy access to our coverage area. Our current EMS building needs replacement for many reasons, to include the size and condition of the building and its location. The current location and the one site considered across the street both front on the busiest highway in town. The US 58-221 corridor is a traffic nightmare several times a day, with Mohawk, Magnolia, and CCHS traffic. Congestion has become even worse recently since the beginning of the year with the construction at the high school. Most students now enter and exit from the entrance there across from Cavalier Express to get to the parking lots, which are located up and behind the football field and the school. Our new EMS location will provide immediate and easy access to the Hillsville bypass at South Main Street, significantly reducing response times and improving safety. No longer will our EMS crews have to battle the traffic and two stop signs as they go through town to answer a call. For some time, we have all been worried about the potential danger to other motorists and pedestrians as high-speed EMS and fire vehicles head west downhill past the VFW towards the interstate and Galax. It's just a matter of time before someone is injured or killed. Our new EMS location will make Carroll the envy of surrounding counties. All should rest assured, knowing that this board takes your health and safety as the number one priority in all the decisions we make. I'd also like to recognize the high school and all sports teams in the county, but specifically tonight I'd like to recognize the varsity girls basketball team. I had the fortune of being present for their championship, their second in 2 years, and it just makes me incredibly proud to see sports doing as well as they are in Carroll County, and I wish everyone the best of luck. And finally, most people know that we lost a citizen of Carroll County at the end of February. Caleb Glick, a flight instructor at Twin County Airport, was unfortunately killed in an aircraft accident towards the end of February. Caleb was a true Christian. He was a good pilot, a great flight instructor, a friend, and a real hardworking guy who was a model citizen of this county, and I'm very sorry for what happened, and I ask everyone to please keep his family in your thoughts. With that said, I'd like to thank all those that helped in the search. It was miserable weather in probably the roughest part of Carroll County, out near the Blue Ridge Parkway. We had multiple people volunteering their time, citizens out there looking, people volunteering their helicopters and aircraft in the search. It took almost a day to locate the wreckage, but specifically the police, the state police, the county police, EMS crews, they were there from start to finish. They did a fantastic job. I'd like to thank them for their efforts. So with that being said, again, thank you to everyone here at the complex that puts in endless hours to make our job a whole lot easier. Thank you.
Well, with all that being said, there ain't much for me to talk about. But I will echo what Robbie and Ronnie said about our kids. You know, it's our future, and it's exciting to see that they have that opportunity to excel, and the school system gives them that opportunity, and our staff that coaches our kids, and from our activity to our bus drivers to our teachers to everybody. So with that being said, it's very exciting to see where we're going. You know, I got an email today from the nursing program instructor, you know, that we've got 2 kids going to Dallas, Texas to represent Carroll County, and that's exciting. I would also like to thank our staff for all they do, you know, Justin and Mike, and for, you know, not only the budget, but for just everyday activities and making sure that we're aware of the checks that are going out to personnel, and thank them for their dedication to the county, and thank the board for all the boards that they serve on and things they do to make Carroll County a better place. I want to thank Mr. Durbin for taking his time to help, you know, with the questions that myself or any of the other board members have, and addressing them to make sure that we're doing the right thing through the state code. And thank Mr. Newman for his work with you know, the Planning Commission and the Trash Committee board. It's very important to the county, and thank him for his dedication for that. And Sheriff Kemp and his staff and our emergency services and fire department, you know, seen firsthand a fire down next to the house not far from me last Thursday, and you know, it was very troubling, and to see a family lose everything they have, you know, it's unfortunate. But thank our firemen that did come and do the best they could to save and help what they could. With that being said, I would entertain a motion as well to approve a letter for the DEQ Mike to work with writing that. If somebody on the board would help make a motion to.
I'd make a motion to direct staff to work on a letter for resolution for DEQ.
Resolution. I apologize. Okay. I have a second.
Second.
All right. Are there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll start the vote. Mr. Early?
Yes.
Mr. Hill?
Yes.
Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Mr. McCraw?
Yes.
Mr. Dixon?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Next, county administrator comments?
I don't have any, but thank you.
Right. County attorney comments?
No comments this evening, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Well, at this time, I'll entertain a motion to enter back to executive closed session. Upon the motion, the board will convey a closed session for the discussion as authorized by Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A3. And I will say before we go back into closed session that just to let everybody know that would want to leave and all, there will not be no more action taken from the board when we come back out. So other than adjournment, so I will let y'all know that. So I'll entertain a motion to enter closed session.
So moved.
All right. Have a second?
Second.
Are there any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I would just note for the record to make it clear, we just didn't complete, this is the same closed session A3 that we previously approved. We just didn't have a chance to complete that topic. So it's the same topic that we've already gone in for.
All right. Are there any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll start the vote. Mr. Early?
Yes.
Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Mr. Hill?
Yes.
Mr. McCraw?
Yes.
Mr. Dixon?
Yes.
And I vote yes.